All right. We're here with Standard Brawl. I'm playing Standard Brawl. The card pool is significantly smaller, and your deck size is only 60 instead of 100. What I'm also curious about is there are no 1 mana lol I win the game cards, at least in green. So this is one of my favorite commanders in normal Brawl. I think it's one of the best commanders, in my opinion. I've probably talked about this a few times. It just consistently wins. Your opponent usually doesn't try to kill all of your mana dorks, right? And it might kill the first one or something, and then suddenly all of your mana dorks are lethal, and it's pretty quick at doing that, right? So I really like this commander. It still looks weird to me. I kind of wish there was maybe at least 5 more moderately giant threats you could play, but I'm not really upset with what I have available to me here. The deserts are in here mainly for the flashy boy that I don't really ever get to play this thing. I really like this card. It having flash is kind of neat, but it just exiling from your graveyard for a rampant growth is completely disgusting. Especially if you get Arid Archway and then, pick up a different land and it just gave you a bounce land. That just seems completely insane to me. You have Bristly Bill. I would never put Bristly Bill in the command zone because if there is some kind of tier bracket thing, even in the smaller commander pool of Standard, I don't know anything about the Standard meta of this. Or I don't know the normal Standard meta. But I just envision this card being against all the tier 1 stuff. So I'm going to avoid that and play something that I feel more comfortable playing. And yeah, that's about it. We'll see what happens. If it's terrible, we'll play something else. Okay. Well, a lot of my deck is kind of like the same, so I'm probably going to play against a bunch of people I've never played against too, right? Just knowing that it's like not the same people. So, in order to dodge... Honestly, there really isn't anything I respect on turn 1 in Standard, so I'm just going to cast this. Yeah, I didn't think they... I mean, there's no Swords to Plowshares. This is just better to play early so it can start accruing counters. Ozolith. Alright, well that tracks. Decks are going to be a lot more consistent, that's for sure. So... Glimpse the Core or another Mana Dork? Probably Glimpse the Core. This might be wrong, but I did it, so. Yeah, no one drops the instant win the game cards. Or at least not on turn 1 anymore. If this format is just 1 turn slower, I would like it a lot, so maybe it is. And this first game is making me believe it is. Nissa coming out next turn, blowing up the Ozolith seems extremely good. Alright, it's slightly less good now. Okay, they just bounced the Ozolith, sure. So, because of this, I should probably play one of these. This one is a land if it dies, so... Makes sense to me. You're gonna make a Standard Brawl Brawl deck real quick? Alright, there's Ozolith again. I think there's some kind of combat trick, but there might not be. I don't know what their turn 1 was. Like, they held priority and didn't do anything, I'm not sure. Canker Bloom is interesting. I think I should just go straight to attacks. Yeah. Well, it has trample, so... Alright, this is probably really good for us. Like, getting rid of this is probably quite massive, honestly. And I should use this opportunity to blow up Ozolith, because my opponent is stumbling. Oh, I should have tapped this. I should have tapped that. My bad. I forgot this land taps for 2. I already forgot. Look at that. I already forgot. Okay, I guess it's a good thing I did, in fact, not tap it. Although, I'm not blocking this, though. I wouldn't block that anyways. My commander can die, and, I mean, I can just recast it as a larger loyalty count. That may have just been a mistake from the opponent to allow me to do this. Let's do this, and we can play this out. Just actually, you know what? Let's play. We can play multiple things out, right? Yeah, we can just do this, and then I can do that again, and then I can actually do it again. Well, that's kind of disgusting. That was kind of disgusting. Okay. And I like the, it's just less homogenous. It's it's way less consistent, obviously, but I just like the idea of every game being a little bit more different, right? It lets you make more dynamic, like, decisions. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so nice. What's going on? I don't like it. It's weird. Oop, played the wrong thing. Yeah, there was a... I think it was for Foundations. The set that's about to come out. Magic Foundations. Yeah, I like the portal. I like the portal. Triple Edict. Pretty good. Or it isn't. Who knows? I certainly don't. Alright, so it's one of those 4-mana commanders that comes into play on turn 3. Because it has to. It makes a 1/1. I would rather play this just to have something that deals damage. I could have just... No, this is... I'm mixing this one up with the other one. I'm mixing it up with the other one. Okay, so that's annoying to deal with. Actually, it's kind of impossible to deal with. So... we'll just make a 7. We'll just plus. I would like to blow up the Iron Crag, but, well... Oh, you like combo decks? Well, if you like combo decks, this is not the best format for it. All right, look at that. All right. I'm just bullying people. I don't know what's happening. Laughing Jasper Flint. Oh no. Oh, I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it. Laughing Jasper Flint in the command zone. Well, I've yet to lose against it. I don't know if Standard is a better place for it. I'm kind of feeling like it isn't, but who knows. Yeah, just max out the token count. Alright, I'm going to use this opportunity to play a Explosive Vegetation. Get some deserts, I suppose. Get those. Pick up the Surveil one. Another land is interesting, but I don't think I think I can do better than that. Let's pick that up. This is... yeah, that's better. Is this end step? I didn't even look. Upkeep. Okay. I can't remember. Couldn't remember. Probably just play the 6/5. That is Magda. Alright, so am I losing my frog? What does this mean? Okay, losing the frog. We can certainly not lose because of that, so that's pretty cool. A land would be interesting. I don't think I need that. Yeah, we're going to just play this for a land here. Wait a minute. I could just do the 3. How much mana would I have left? So 1, 2, 3. I'd have 1, 2, 3 left. No, I don't like any of my options. Okay. This is fine. Heaped Harvest. Hooptuvist. Mouse, mouse. Alright, they've got a bunch of stuff going on. Cool. Let's... what do we do? Probably swing. Definitely swing. Just gonna swing. I really want to leave up my thingy bamooper, so let's play this. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, just that and pass. Alright, their crimes have been committed. They stole Defiler. Alright, that's the best I have ever seen Laughing Jasper Flint. Fortunately, they can't use its text box, though, so... It is just a 6/6, which is still, you know... It's still good. It's not for me. I see it. Okay. They chose not to play the giant 5/5. Does this die? I think I'm always just playing this. If I can maybe... Yeah, this is fine. Just do this. I don't see why I wouldn't do this. It feels free enough. Alright, so I can play Portal, and that's probably by far the best thing I can do, so I will do it. They actually kept their commander. Wow. Alright. Nuts. Alright, what do we steal? Land. Alright, expected outcome. There we go. Sexually explicit. Yeah, well, that's Twitch for you. There's a Braid again, seeming to be the strongest red card in Standard. It's funny. They need it to have a Braid or they just lost the game, so... Only makes sense, right? Does this do anything now? Whenever Legendary dies... Target opponent. It kind of does. I think at this spot, I would prefer to make tokens. There's not really much... Yeah, I just want to defend myself. And it isn't lethal, right? Is it lethal? 5, 6, 7? So 14, 20, 21, 22. It's not lethal, and I don't like the blocks, so we're gonna wait. My opponent's in top deck mode, and that's fine with me. I'd rather not tap this, so I'll just do this. And I can simply swing here. 5, 6... I can just wait as well. Yeah, we just not do anything. Alright, they got Bramble Familiar and Invasion, which are pretty good. I mean, this might not... There's probably not a lot of big things they could do off of this, and... I mean, this is like a cantrip, sort of, so... Okay, this does not fix my opponent's problem, but that does... It does kill it. They have yet to play a stolen card. Opponent needs, I think, another removal spell. I think they just full stop need another removal spell here. So if any of their legendaries die, the damage goes to my face, which is not a big deal. Unstoppable Slasher. That is Death Touch, right? Alright, that is not a removal spell. I think my opponent threw everything. See, this is the power of Nissa. If you just leave a few creatures in play, killing Nissa, I could just recast it in Ultimate immediately. Sometimes people kill it when they shouldn't. It'll be at like 4 loyalty, and I can't Ultimate it, and then they'll just kill it, and then I just get my Ultimate. That's not what just happened, but... I think my opponent is completely dead, right? There's nowhere near enough here to stay alive. Yeah, 16, and then... a lot more than that. Can I play this and also this? No. Alright, I don't think it matters. I'm just gonna send it. Thinking is for blockers. Okay. Alright, there you go. My opponent figured it out. They figured out they're dead. So it was 20 over. They, yeah, wasn't even close to having enough toughness to stay alive. Alright, I can lead with... I can play this next turn, although if I was on the draw, so I would have to go to discard, right? Yeah, I don't want to do that, so we won't. Between these two, I think this one is categorically better, so I'm going to do that. I can go O'Hare into something. Sarah Paragon, that's interesting. They haven't shown me anything to go with it, though. What do we have at 1 mana? Oh, can you replay the land? No, you cannot. Alright, so we play this. We play this. And we pass. Hey, we got a Surveil. I want that Overlord. I don't envision... Oh wait, why are they able to play the land out of the graveyard? Oh no, it specifically says you can play a land. I'm just dumb. Alright. Makes sense to me. I am losing quite substantially right now, if anyone was curious. That is a sweeper. I'm going to tap this and play this as a thing because I really need to Archdruid's Charm, unfortunately. I do not in any way need the Conduit land. I should have tapped it, but I didn't need it. I did not need it. Okay. I did dump a mana there. So let's swing all out, or do I just swing with this? I think I just swing with this. Alright, love to see that. So we put a counter here and kill this so we can get through. Have to do this post-combat, but it does have trample. Alright, so we get Railway Brawler and that thing. So my hand is empty, but my overrun just wins immediately, so they need to have a good thing to do right now. It needs to be quite good. Well, that is a decent card, but it is not good enough. I'm going to need more than that. That's a... There it is. Someone played Platoon Dispenser. There it is. Someone actually played it. And they are incentivized to swing for the trigger of this thing at the very least. Wow. That's a Platoon Dispenser. Is my opponent literally only playing rares? Is that what this is? Just like mono rares and mythics? I'm gonna block, so good luck to you. Alright, we could bump into our first counter spell right here and now. We have not seen one. Not bumped into a counterspell yet. Let's see if there is one over there. Looks like there is. I think. Or is this just the creation of a 1/1? Not sure. Alright. Well, there's no fog, so I'm not concerned about that. There could be one removal spell, which I don't think is enough. Alright. Nice. Surprised they had nothing. I am very surprised my opponent had, like, nothing for this 3-mana. No counterspell, no... I mean, Teferi's Protection's not in this format, but... Oh, wow. Roxanne's in Standard. So we basically just have red-green Golos hanging out. It took me an hour to bump into this. That's wild. Roxanne is in Standard. That just flew right over my head. That's a problem, though. I can't permanently deal with it, and oh my goodness, is it a problem. So, hopefully we do something fast enough to make it not a problem. But once it's in play, I'm kind of screwed. Looks like my opponent does nothing but ramp it into play, too. How exciting. Alright, I would love to play Bristly Bill, but playing 2 of these is categorically better. Man, look at all these things that just die to my opponent's commander with absolute ease. Blue-white soldiers, you know. I mean, I get where it goes. I just don't like it. So, no haste enabler, please. No haste enabler. No haste enabler. No haste enabler. That would be great. Opponent is thinking about it. Who knows? Opponent has a haste enabler. Wow. Of course they do. Fascinating. Can't wait to lose. Am I maxing this out? Yes. Alternatively, I can go 1, 2... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... And blow up the haste enabler. Because dumb. Wait, this doesn't give haste immediately, but I'm still gonna blow it up, right? What if I just plussed? I'm gonna plus actually. Okay. And I'm gonna leave this up because I want my opponent to target it on accident. But I actually have Roxanne covered. It does not have haste. I thought this gives haste for free. I forgot it's the other way around. You get the loot for up front and then the haste later. So this is fine. I could have blown up the beanstalk, but that doesn't sound better than making a 6/6. There was an argument to maxing out Nissa though, but I'm not upset with my decision. I still have Cityscape next turn. Alright, I mean, I'm actually fine. I'm actually fine. Maybe I just have, like, non-standard brain, and I just assume I'm dead immediately to everything, but I guess that's not the case. I'm very likely going to blow that up. My opponent now has haste for this, but I have Cityscape levelers, so that doesn't matter. Get schmieded. The schmieding has schmieded. I will also swing with this because I don't care. Yep, get wrecked. Get absolutely wrecked. Wow, I just completely annihilated them. I went from thinking I was screwed to just winning in a single turn cycle. Yeah, my threat assessment was in like non-standard Brawl mode. And was actually surprised they had any sort of haste enabler, but yeah, after having realized you can't play Roxanne immediately, having haste with this was good, so they wanted to wait. And they had a good thing to do instead, but not really, because my commander has infinite naturalizes, which have been extremely useful. The card pool is like a third of the size. Man, everyone says hello to me. This is weird. Alright, well, let's kill the unkillable thing. I mean, play the unkillable ramp spell. I would really like to... What? Okay. I kind of want to just play out... Oh, wait. No, we'll do this. Just having things in play is probably better for the conduit, because it's not like the conduit's doing anything. Like, having things in the graveyard for the conduit is good. They have a ghost vacuum, but that doesn't really... In, like, the long run, doesn't really stop my stuff here. So, I like dealing with this. So, is it 5, 6, 7? We're just gonna make a giant token. Zorline does not keep up with giant Nissa tokens, even if you're doubling Zorline's stuff, so... Ooh, I would love a removal spell here. Well, actually, maybe not, because I can still cast this. Alright, well, yeah, I don't like that. I can still blow up Roaming Throne. I have a few options here. Deep Cavern Bat? That's nuts. I would have just cast a... Oh, it happens twice. Alright, never mind. That's a little better. A little bit better. Probably take the Clifftop Lookout, because it is a flying block, or reach blocker. The conduit doesn't really do anything, but who knows. They do take the conduit. I would have actually taken the Lookout. That's weird. So I'm going to blow... I can just blow something up here. The Roaming Throne is just like a big threat that's annoying, but is that really... I guess I will. Yeah, let's just rip this band-aid off now. This seems like a good idea. They seem to be, like, actually bat tribal, not just like this. So, this is probably a good thing. They let me play the reach thingy, so they can't really ever attack with this bat. Not that that would be a big deal. Let's run this out. And surely we find something scary. Both of these are interesting. I guess I'll take that one. It not only is scary, it also gives me my land drops. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, especially with the Ghost Vacuum. I'm not taking Conduit. Like, the cliff top just looked really good there. I would just not have taken it. Alright, there goes Vorinclex's lands. But that is totally fine. I don't know how sagas work with Elishnorn, because I am not the brightest bulb in the box, and I continuously forget. Fortunately, Vorinclex is still a viable thing to cast. I can even pick up the Bramble Familiar and have that as a thing to do. But I don't think I want to. At least not right now. I don't feel super incentivized. Although, honestly, I could have... I don't think there's another squirrel in my deck, right? Yeah, I don't think there was another squirrel. I don't know, maybe playing the land was wrong and I did want to pick up the Familiar. I still have access to that next turn, though, so I'm not super upset with that. Okay. Whenever this enters or attacks, you may pay that and 2 return permanent 3 or less, which there are none, right? Yeah. I'm going to blow up the Ghost Vacuum so it doesn't win the game later. That seems like a good idea. Okay, so... Does anyone know what happens if I flip this Vorinclex? Do you still get sagas with the Elishnorn? Does anyone confirm that? I don't know. I'm pretty sure sagas still work with Elishnorn. I think this rule came up a few times, actually. Could just rip the band-aid off and find out the hard way. Okay, it does work. I should have blown up the vacuum first, actually. That was whoopsie. That was a whoopsie-doopsie. Oh well. Still gonna blow it up. Should have blown it up first, though. Alright, so sagas do work. I'm pretty sure I knew that. Just got a little paranoid there. The Overlord does not come with a land, but it does, like... Both of these have attack triggers they have to deal with. My board is obviously significantly scarier than my opponent's, and good luck to you. They have to deal with Cityscape, and even if they do, I can unearth it and blow up the Elishnorn. Although, I don't even know... Does Elishnorn matter? I think I'm scared of the double battle cry more than I am of... Yeah, alright, I guess I am blowing it up. This was a massive mistake. My opponent went from having a game and now not. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Killing Nissa just makes you lose the game. I can now just cast it for the full thing, and now the game's just over. That doesn't matter. Yep, my opponent just made a huge mistake. They went from losing to just the game's dead and done now. That was just a huge mistake. Yep, I don't think they realized. Because, I mean, again, if Nissa wasn't dead... I mean, it's making tokens, but if it wasn't dead, it was... You live. And now you do not. And we get our cards back. Yay. We get our cards back for next game. Look at that. What is the Kaladesh Nissa? Is that the one... I don't remember that. Oh, the 5-mana one. I know that one. Yeah, like it has like an instant ultimate that plays lands. Okay, my opponent did not do that at instant speed, which is really weird to me. I'm gonna go ahead and play a giant... Oh, I can't. Oh, stupid game. Whatever. Alright, plotted. was gonna say I just run out this brawler and just block forever, but no, I cannot do that. So rip. Oh look, it's another opener with the combat research. Of course, why not? Why not? Yeah, I like that. I like that Nissa because it's so scary. Super scary card. Let us play this. Yay. Okay, my opponent either made a massive, massive mistake, or, whoops. Probably just get rid of Poison Dart Frog here. I think that makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to get rid of a land. The more lands, the more betterer, right? The more betterer. Do I play Bill? I don't want to. Fear of isolation picking up the tiny bones. Alright. Let's play... I'm gonna play this. I don't even really... Yeah, this is fine. It's fine unless it just isn't. Okay, not gonna lie, I have to actually read Zur. Enchantment creatures you control have all that. And then target non-aura becomes... Wait, what? Non-aura enchantment becomes a creature. Alright, so all your enchantments become creatures. Cool. This seems really cool. Unfortunately, all the cards are from like 2 sets, though, right? It's like Duskmourn and that other one. Not this one, the other one with a bunch of enchantments. I can't remember the name of it. Okay, at this point I'm getting rid of a land. I suppose it's free to just get rid of a forest, although Nissa likes forests. Maybe I do just drop the desert. Although I like the desert's late game text. No, we're going to get rid of the desert here. If I get rid of it now, surely I can't make mistakes in the future because I chose to make that idea my decision. Alright, we're going to plot here because that's just good. You don't like playing against it? I don't mind it. I'm definitely losing, but it is what it is. I like all of the cards that it can play. It's kind of neat. So far, apparently, exclusively Duskmourn. Well, this screams counterspell. If they have a counterspell, I mean, it is what it is. It'd be yet for the quadrillionth time. Brawler not being able to do anything. Let's play Bristly Bill. Wow, it actually did something, no way. Let's play land, put the land on Bristly Bill, makes sense to me, and then play the Trailblazer. Which I think enters with 8 counters? I didn't interact with anything, so I guess I'm just getting away with this. Well, this is the power of getting away with it. Unfortunately, all of their stuff has Death Touch, which I don't have much recourse to, so we're just relying on like a giant Nissa explosive trample turn. Beanstalk replaces itself. I can't pick up the familiar. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens when you make rooms enchantment creatures. Does this become like a giant 5/5 because of like the total cost? That's kind of cool. Oh, I don't doubt Railway Brawler does not need much help being scary, but yeah, with tokens, I'm sure it is. I haven't been able to do it with Nissa yet. So, with Nissa's text box, I'm a little bit less threatened by the myriad of enchantments, because that's what Nissa is pretty good at dealing with. I don't know if I'm casting it next turn, though. I might have to. Okay, why are we doing this? What is this doing? Why did my opponent do that? Is that worth it? I want to make the argument that it was in no way worth doing, but my opponent did it, so. They signed up to do that, and then that's what they did. And now I will blow it all up. I don't see an incentive to attack. Maybe I should, actually. This is half my opponent's life total, and I'm not under lethal pressure on the crackback, although this gets lifelink. And I do set up for them killing Nissa, which doesn't actually do anything, so... Oh, they're out of cards. Ooh. Oh, am I dead? Oh, cool. I'm just dumb. Alright, math is hard. Alright, so I shouldn't have swung with both of them. I left myself dead on board because I didn't read the room. That's my bad. Alright, that's tragic. I think I would have just won, too. I would have played Zur, and yeah, I think I was just fine. I just sort of decided to lose. That's funny. I didn't read the room. Didn't read the room. Ah, people in their surveillance. Oh, you know what else? You know what else is awesome? There's no fetch lands. That is. We're not staring at people for 20 minutes, and I don't have to edit 20,000 years of people just slowly finding a land off of their fetch land, which is just awesome. Alright, we're going to play this, and do nothing. So if this dies, I still have things I can do. I'd prefer if it didn't die, but if it does... Alright, my things to do have plummeted. They'll oh, okay. I was going to say, they'll probably take the portal, but they want a longer game, I guess. Alright, well, eventually they'll play something that isn't just, you know, removal. Alright, Bill it is, because of the land I played. I would have done something else if it was an untapped land here, but... it wasn't. Okay, interesting. So do I play Nissa, or do I not play Nissa? Wait, can I play Nissa? I can. Should I? I kind of like just ticking away with it. But, you know what? This lets Nissa show up later as a scarier threat. So let's just do this. Now Nissa's just comes in bigger. And I still have this portal. They did not get rid of it. Oh, they got immediate Glarb value. Of course they did. They can turn Glarb into a mana dork with the Soul Cauldron. Which I guess doesn't really matter that much. They did not attack. I would have attacked. Interesting. So, 5, 6, 7. And Soul Cauldron is not something I'm concerned about, so I won't do anything about it. I will also not attack, because again, we are threatening lethal, because that's just how disgusting this card is. I'm also threatening Portal, which they did not duress. I can blow up the Soul Cauldron too, so I get Portal value. Although that's not a big deal, really. It's nice, though. I don't know. I'm attacking my opponent in like 3 different angles here. That is not an angle that undoes all 3 of them. You're gonna need something else. They did not surveil with Glarb first. I feel like if this was the best thing out of hand you could have done, you probably want it to surveil to find literally anything on the top of your deck. Sure. Yeah, you got it. Okay, I can double block, but this is a phenomenal trade-off, so I will do said from not... Wait, hold on, is it? Yes? No? Yes, of course. This is fine. None of this stops my portal. Alright, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. And probably win. Because they didn't duress this, like I thought they would. Who knows? But they do have to blow it up. Right now. My opponent got rid of their commander. It's just sitting in the graveyard for some unusual reason. Maybe they thought they could get it back with their Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which obviously they're just I'm never going to target it. Okay, that was a bit of a whoopsie. I didn't read the card, but who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm so far ahead. It doesn't matter. They can go away. Let's play this. Put the counter here. And yeah, good luck. Oh, no River's Rebuke either, right? No River's Rebuke and no Cyclonic Rift. Man, this format's great. Oh. How come you guys that were screaming about this format before didn't scream louder that I should play it? I want to never reanimate their commander. And this is not a great draw. I'm going to just tap this because I'm actually not sure if I have a squirrel in my deck. I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't. Alright, just now I know forever. Let's swing with this. Other creatures you control have haste is scary. Maybe I just hide behind my Nissa ultimate. It's not like it isn't going to show up eventually. I can almost Alpha Strike too and just kill them outright. So I don't want to get into shenanigans with a giant hasted threat for no reason. Although it probably won't one-shot me anyways. Oh yeah, no mana drains. Whoa, I should do like a montage of just all the things that make normal Brawl not real. Not a real format. Every time a creature dies, they're farther away from forcing me to reanimate Glarb. Creatures being traded in combat favors the portal. So they don't really like, there's just not really big incentive to swing or anything. So with Bristly Bill, we're actually doing quite well here with the counters on my stuff. Should diversify my counters so they double across multiple creatures. Does my opponent have... Nope. Alright. Let's start actually swinging. So with you, and you. And I guess you. Because it's basically lethal. They have to block. And it gives Portal more food. And Bristly Bill can be activated. I could have actually... Oh, no, I can. I can activate it twice. Oh, that's disgusting. If it wasn't lethal already, it sure is now. I think. I think this is lethal. I could be completely wrong. Who cares? It's so much damage, it doesn't matter anyways. It was not lethal. Shoot. I did get trades, though, that my opponent probably didn't want, because they, you know, the bill forces it, but... Yeah, I think they see that. They forgot Bill had things to do. But again, it doesn't matter. Like, if I didn't do that, and they still just trade it instead of my creatures living, they're still just losing the game anyways. Okay, so I don't know if this outro is going to be longer than the other ones, because playing an entirely new format, I have probably a ton of things I could say about it, and I'll do my best not to, but I'm going to anyways. This commander specifically, in this format, is probably just as good, right? You don't have those non-games nearly as much in this format, where your opponent has Dark Ritual, Mana Drain, an uncontested Birds of Paradise, Kami, Arboreal Grazer, Llanowar Elves, Ragavan, yeah, Dark Ritual into a myriad of different things. They're wash away, and then if you're ahead or whatever, you can't immediately get knocked out of the game by River's Rebuke or Cyclonic Rift. Sweepers are one thing, but one-sided sweepers are devastating, right? They're just devastating. So without all of those end the game on the spot kind of cards, the format is a lot slower. So this might actually even be stronger here than in normal Brawl. Normal Brawl, or I guess technically this is normal Brawl, and I mean this is called standard Brawl and the other is called just Brawl. So historic Brawl we could call it. But they did rename it. So in Historic Brawl, your 1 ramp into 3 ramp is probably stronger than your 2 ramp into 4, but your opponents are doing very strong things too that offset your 1 into 3 ramp. And they're very similar anyways. They're still very similar. Especially for a deck like this. Every time my opponent killed my Nissa when they shouldn't have, and it would have led to them dying, it did, right? So if it was at 2 loyalty and they killed it instead of not killing it, they just lost the game because I just recast it at full loyalty and then they just die. That happened a few times where someone just killed it and they shouldn't have. The game would have continued. It's not like they're in a favorable position. Nissa is uncontested, and if it's plussing away, it's still problematic, kinda. Right? The tokens aren't too big until a bit later. And the naturalized spamming, if I must blow something up, I can probably always just get it out of the command zone just to blow up something if I really have to, even if it dies after. Pretty bad to do that, but if you have to do it, you gotta do it. So the naturalized spam on Nissa is extremely powerful. If you can force your opponents to only come at you in like a creature-based angle, that's where you like to be, right? That's where we like to hang out, so as mono green. So if we can do that and blow up the other stuff, it just leaves like planeswalkers being a huge problem for us. The only games I really lost were against removal spell decks, which was mostly like black decks. Right? They just completely blasted me out of the out of the game every time that was a thing happening. I did not play against the same commander once, and I played for 2.5 hours. I did not play against the same commander twice, and I played for 2.5 hours. I'll say it twice. That's kind of crazy. That is not a thing when I'm playing the other, Historic Brawl. That does not happen, right? Maybe the brackets are more flushed out or something. I did play against Italy, which surprised me. Now, I know your giant hits are less of a thing in this than it is Historic Brawl, but Italy to me is still completely disgusting, and I did bump into it once. Again, I only played everything once. I just would have assumed there was still some kind of bracket system. And maybe there is. Maybe there are commanders I just can't see when I'm playing Nissa. There was, so other than the mono black removal decks that destroyed me, there was a Bristly Bill deck that also destroyed me. They were on the play, and they played this, and I lost. The game was over before it started, right? This is way too fast for my deck to deal with, and I didn't have any answer to it, and I just sort of lost. There was not a single game or a single moment where Conduit of Worlds did anything at all. Like, I never got to cast a spell off of this. There's no... Oh, that's another thing. There's no fetch lands in this format, so it's really nice to have... I mean, I kind of do my best to edit it out, but when people have 5 fetch lands and you're just staring at your opponent while they, think really hard about finding their swamp in a mono black deck, like, it's actually kind of nice to not have the game jarringly interrupted by someone spending 10 minutes looking for a land. It's not that bad, but it can get egregious for some players, especially in like 5-color piles where you have 3 fetch lands in your opening hand, and I guess the first one will get this triome, and then the second one will get this triome. It's like now we don't have to worry about that, and that is so nice. That just because of the time it takes, it's nice, but it's also nice that the land bases of decks are just more honest, because you don't have like all of your colors immediately off of 1 fetch land or something, or 2 fetch lands, right? Or mostly just 1 fetch land color fixes you in a 5 or 4 color deck. Now there aren't, I don't think, really any 5 color decks in standard. I mean, you have the Room Enchantress chick, Marina or whatever. I guess there is one, but I'm without fetch lands. Maybe it's just impossible to get it in play. I don't know, but I was really impressed with the pace of play. Also, people are really nice. Everyone was saying hello to me, which is unusual. Usually I'm the one saying hello first, but everyone here was like, hello. It's like, oh wow, shoot. I was saying this about other people's decks, and my deck falls probably right under that category. You kind of do need basically every card in your deck to be like a rare or mythic or something rather extremely powerful. It is only 60 cards, right? But it doesn't leave a lot of room for your random common that you kind of like, right? Every card is like a rare or mythic. Now, not every single card, but a whole bunch of them are rares and mythics, right? A whole bunch. And that's just, you're just going to notice that more because the power is dense. It's more dense. It's 40 less cards. And that's just going to, or 39 less cards. Ooh. Oh, no, isn't it exactly 100? It's not 99. No, yeah. So that's something. The desert package, I took out the tapped desert other than the bounce land. I just really like this card. Because having tap lands, stumbling is just not something you should ever find yourself doing. It's probably just not a good idea. Railway Brawler, I think, did something twice. One of them, I think I lost anyways, and then the other, it won because my opponent didn't know it had reach, and then they died swinging into it, and they just lost the game. They didn't know it had reach. But other than that, this card, like, the problem with this card specifically is it costs 5, or sometimes 4. But once you, like, you have to cast it before you get other creatures in play to grow. So if you played all your mana dorks by now and other things in your deck are already kind of big and don't care to be twice as big because it's like already, you know, a big 6/6. Oh no, it's a 12/12 sometimes. Like, it's kind of weird. So I feel like you always want to be plotting this on 4, which gets in the way of your ramp progression in a game. So Brawler was weird, and every time it was in play, it died immediately, and I never got value anyways. So maybe because of that, you keep it in, because everyone just deems it necessary to kill. I will say Kona, or Kona, the one the one that post combat, if it's tapped, you know, you cheat something into play. That seems like a cool commander, but if you look at my deck, there's not a lot of things that I can actually cheat into play that make any sort of sense. In fact, there's really only 3 cards. I would probably, if I was playing that in the command zone, would have to run more random stuff that costs more than 5 just for Kona. But I don't know. But that was one of the non-removal spammy kind of decks that did beat me, which, funny enough, just like Bristly Brawl, was another mono green deck. Interesting. I think that's all I've got. I guess, like, in the grand scheme of things, in this format, Nissa is just good. The ability to turn all of your random mana dorks into trampling lethal threats from the command zone, just like Craterhoof. It's like Craterhoof Behemoth for forests coming out of the command zone that your opponent can't escape by simply killing Nissa, because it will happen again, right? It's very similar in just like the Historic Brawl version. I would probably finagle around some of these cards. I want more ramp, I think. Maybe get rid of some of the random jank in here. I didn't feel too confident at all about Tribute or Outcaster. Like, I didn't really get to draw that much off of these 2 cards. Maybe Outcaster could stay and just drop Tribute. Up the Beanstalk was a late addition to the deck. There were, I think at one point, maybe it's still true, 10. Yeah, there's 10 cards in the deck, plus my commander that draws, so 1 out of every 10 cards. If it didn't replace itself, I would not like this, but it does replace itself, and your commander can die repeatedly, and every time you cast it, if it draws, it's pretty cool. So it's probably free enough to play. But Tribute, I don't know. I would rather Tribute just be a threat, a sizable threat, or a ramp spell. We don't have, like, MH3 cards, so there's no Flare, you know, Cultivate or anything. But I gotta say, I really like this format. There were so few non-games, and that's just huge, right? It makes me want to play more. I get to see more games played out, and I don't just... the game doesn't end on turn 1. Like, I don't... you know, it doesn't... Historic Brawl is pushing itself. It's slowly becoming closer to Timeless, that format, which I think I played for like 2 seconds. I was like, Oko, Uro, mana drain nonsense. But it's pushing itself to Timeless level nonsense, where the game is extremely tight and you must have hyper efficient answers like out the get-go. Your first 3 turns are extremely important. And while that's, some people like that, and it can be fun, right? I don't think I'm done with the format completely, but in a singleton format, it's a lot harder to have the consistent back and forth like that. I know the power level of everything goes up, but hold on, wait. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, that was it. Okay, I found it. I had to pause and think for a while. The bracket system in Historic Brawl is not as balanced as it could be. I'm not saying I agree with. Oh, my voice is. I'm running. My voice is cracking. I mean, it's. I'm losing. I'm losing my voice. I talked a lot too yesterday at the card store playing 40K. But anyways, there was like the bracket system. If it's gonna stay the way it is, I think some commanders have to be severely reevaluated. Right? We have non-existing commanders like Geist of Saint Traft and Helana and Elena, and that doesn't lead to. If someone's new to the format and they play Geist of Saint Traft and they're getting blasted and cannot win a single game, which is somewhat likely, they're going to not like the format and not understand, especially someone who doesn't play a lot, not understand the bracket system in the first place, not realizing if they just played a weaker commander, they can actually enjoy the format, right? And now if you enjoy Tier 1, that's great, but you can't enjoy Tier 1 with a commander that is stuck in Tier 1 but not Tier 1 quality. That's just ridiculous. So the lower brackets are starting to become more powerful too, right? The lower brackets have the same issue where you still lose to Ragavan Dark Ritual uncontested. You just, the game's over. Mana Drain, the game's over, right? It doesn't matter if you're not in bracket 1 or the top bracket. I think it's bracket 4. It doesn't matter. You just lose, right? You could be in the bottom bracket and your opponent can just pull Mana Drain out of their booty hole and then you lose, right? So, like, the bracket system doesn't save you from those non-games. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're just in the mood to concede really quickly because the game didn't get a chance to get off the ground, right? And that's just the way it is. But, again, it just leads to some nonsensical thing. I think there needs to be a fundamental, after having played Standard Brawl, I don't even know why I chose to do this, but I'm like, all right, I don't feel like playing against Dark Ritual right now. And yeah, so there needs to be a massive restructuring, I think, of Historic Brawl, or you just need to abandon ship and play a different format, right? And until things start to even out, where every deck has a consistently disgusting thing to do early, right? So now everyone's doing it, and now there are maybe less non-games because both players have extremely degenerate turn 1, turn 2s, and then you go from there, right? It's like, oh, I will match your Dark Ritual with my Force of Negation that nets me a mana next turn or something, so we're like, at parity, and the game actually continues. It just doesn't seem to be the case right now, where non-games have any redeeming qualities to justify the continuation of said non-game, right? Your opponent goes Dark Ritual, Black Market Connections. You should probably concede. You can beat that still, but your chances of winning have absolutely tanked. And that does not at all happen in this format. So, I really like it. I really like this format. I'm probably going to play a lot more of this. I didn't anticipate such a massively diverse range of opponents. I did not play against the same commander twice. I can't get over that. That's insane to me. In Standard of all things, too, where there's far less available options. And a lot of strategies were pretty different. I would say all the black strategies sort of just had 55 removal spells, but, not everything can be super unique and stuff like that. But I can absolutely and will absolutely recommend this format and recommend this deck. I really like this deck, so I'm probably going to play more of this. But let me know what you thought about this deck, this format. Give me all your onions about this format in the comments section. I want to hear everyone's opinion. So like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.